Cases of gonorrhea, syphilis, and chlamydia have gone up in Denver a lot for the fourth year in a row. Denver Public Health wants to get ahead of the problem, one that is showing up nationwide. First, let's talk numbers. In 2018, an estimated 2,700 people were diagnosed with gonorrhea. Doesn't sound like a big number compared to 2014, and you're looking at a jump of 150%. The highest infection rates are among Latinos and African Americans. Cases of syphilis went up 75% in that same time frame. Latinos and African Americans saw twice as many diagnoses, and cases of chlamydia, considered the most common STD, went up 24%. That equals more than 7,300 cases in 2018. Doctors have theories on the reasons, but they say it comes down to screening, which is easy.
For gonorrhea and chlamydia, it can be as easy as giving a urine sample. And so peeing in a cup, turning it in, not even needing a full physical exam.
Diagnosing syphilis requires a blood test. It's important to remember this is all preliminary data. Also, all the STDs we're talking about are bacterial infections. Denver Public Health has a lot of information online. If you have questions or you need to know where to go for testing, we also have a link on 9news.com.